All right, let's do it. This is the Vintage Challenge Top 8. We are currently in the top 8. We were the only 6-0 in Swiss. We're playing a Remora style PO deck. Playing against Lumen's Dead. I have no idea what he's on. Who we got? On the play, we have no blue source again. Yep, no blue source again. Mulligan. This one has no action, but certainly has fast mana. It has PO as early as turn 2 if we draw it. I think it's fine. I think it's something you're not going to mulligan. Thanks, New. It's been a while since we top 8'd on stream. Yeah, we're gonna have to bottom that one though. We need some action here. He's F6'd, but it doesn't really hurt us too badly if he plays a sphere on turn 1. We're not really advancing our mana anyway, so I think we can hold back our crypt. I think that's fine. This is a hand that could very easily lose to shops, though. Of course, we drew Blightsteel again. But we have a lot of mana. Next turn, we can maybe Ancestral for 5 mana. A lot of mana, but might be worthwhile. We can fetch islands too if we want. I kind of want him to wasteland me almost. I'd like him to not put any pressure on. 2 wastelands, huh? You gonna make a play with 2 wastelands, or you gonna wasteland me? Could be interesting. I could get Hercules, but I'm not doing anything. The onus is on me to make a play. So I can definitely get a Hercules. I think that's completely reasonable if I draw another piece of action. But without drawing any action next turn, I think it's on me to go get Ancestral and try to draw some action. We have a lot of draws in our deck that win the game on the spot, so. But I agree with what you're saying. We have Hercules, so it's not like we're in a bad spot. 3 mana Overseer is perfectly fine with us. No problem there. Lost a flip. Drew a force. I'm going to Ancestral. Alright, we have Vault Key next turn, so. Well, maybe not. That would require 7 mana. So we would have to draw a mana and he would have to not. I'm going to force this. It basically stops him from doing anything this turn. I can't imagine he wouldn't have played that on any other turn unless he just drew it right now. Alright, so the problem is we can't Demonic Tutor now. But we always knew that could be a possibility if he chose to wasteland us. Alright, well now we can Demonic Tutor. We're currently 1 mana short. I think I'm supposed to preordain first. Kind of, maybe it baits him into doing it. Neither of those do anything. Sure. There's really no reason to get anything else. If I didn't have a Blightsteel in my hand, I would think I would go get Tinker, just so I had multiple options, but... Alright, so he basically needs to not draw Land Revoker, and we're going to be okay here. We still have to get rid... Oh, I should have drawn Tinker. I should have gotten Tinker anyways. We have a Mana Crypt in play. It was really bad. I should have just gotten Tinker so I could Tinker away the Mana Crypt. That's a really bad mistake. Could cost us the game. Could easily cost us the game. I did think about it, and then I just kind of stopped thinking about it for some reason. I mean, we punt our way out. So be it. It's a really big mistake, though. The Mox Opal off the preordain solves any kind of mana issues we can have by getting a Tinker line, so. Oh, man. We're going to take 2 here and go to 8, or go to 9, and then we have to survive 3 crypt flips before we find a way out of our own mana crypt. That's pretty bad. That's not the greatest odds, actually. Alright. So maybe he won't attack us because he's got a Ravager. So we get to survive 4 crypt flips, which is pretty good. Yeah, really, really big misplay on my own part. I don't know why I just overlooked it. Oh, looks like he's decided to attack, which is, you know, just the correct play. We lost 1 flip, so we only have 2 left. Oh, we drew a repeal. Wow, I just, like, don't get punished. It's unreal. I play fucking terrible, and I just don't get punished. It's, like, really frustrating. Can't believe that. Well, so be it. We'll eventually get enough mana. I'm not worried about time at all. Just gonna go through this. There it is. Boom! Here comes the boom! Ready or not. Watch me now. Alright. I played badly, still picked this one up. Just gotta try to untilt from that. It was just like a very simple line that I just seem to be able to forget a lot. Alright. That didn't take too long to combo through. So we have shops. Last time we brought in Carnes and Caracas and Hercules Recall, and we took out Dig and Yogwill and Remora and and Night's Whisper and a Preordain. I think that's what we're gonna go do again. You basically take out your high-costed instants and sorceries, things that are gonna get really punish you when he plays a sphere effect. You bring in an extra. Krakus doesn't hit any legendaries in his deck, but it does give us an extra land drop against things like Wastelands and Spheres, which you want extra land drops for. And Hercules Recall is pretty self-explanatory. There's a reason it's here. It's because shops. Then Karn, you can actually just make things that are big enough to block, which is really nice. Yeah, we're just gonna go into game 2 and 3, where we're on the draw for the first one, which could be a little rough depending on how good his draw is, and then we get to be on the play if there's a third one, so pretty happy about that. This is one of our most favorable matchups in Vintage, so. I need some water. I didn't know Lumens played shops, actually. It's news to me. Alright, so game 2 of our top 8 match for shops on the draw. We have multiple land drops, a Moxen and a Hercules Recall, some Karns which don't look particularly strong right now. This is on the weaker side of hands that are keepable. His hand is pretty weak to a certain subset of his draws. No Force of Will, not a lot of fast mana, but I think having 2 land drops and the ability to cast Hercules Recall makes this a keep. So we're going to keep it. This is not the strongest hand we can have, but I think it's reasonable. Oh, we got a shops draw. Drops into Inspector is fine. You have a Mox to follow up in a 2-drop. This is game 2. We won game 1. I think top is better than Preordain, but I can understand you boarding out top in this matchup. Completely reasonable. That's on the stronger side of our draws. I should definitely I have to fetch a Tundra, but I should have played Underground Sea instead. I guess I don't have to. I don't have to fetch a Tundra right now, but I will be fetching a Tundra next turn. We want to play all of our cards now before we can get Sphere affected. If we don't get Sphered or Revoked, even with Revoke, we have a Hercules Recall. If we don't get Sphered and Revoked, this is not a bad place to be. Like, he has a strong pressure start, but he doesn't have lock pieces. Well, there's a Revoker. Maybe he'll name Sensei's Divining Top. I'm gonna name Moxjet. When he names Moxjet, it's gonna be rough for us. If we can not die in 2 attack phases, if we can not die and not lose one of our lands, then we can end of turn Hercules him, and we might be okay. Ah, that's brutal. Alright, so we take 4. Probably take 5. We'll probably sack the Ruby. Or the Precursor at the very least. Take 5. Go to our turn. So currently 5, 11 is 16. That's unfortunate for us. Three, 5, 7, 10, 16. We have to cast Hercules Recall. We have no choice. And then we're gotta see what he does with his mana, basically. I assume we'll still get revoked, which case is real bad for us. What we can do now, though, is we can activate our jet, spin our top, and look for a Force of Will. Not that that's great. But we do get to spin our top. I would probably take a Force of Will for an Inspector. It's not going to be good enough. We're going to take this fetch land and play a Mentor. What we're going to do. This is game 2. We won game 1. He drew another tomb that turn. That's pretty bad for us. He can replay most of his hand and we're going to die. Karn on the draw is just not good. He gets to reestablish lethal and then hit our jet. He still has a Ravager, so no matter what we do here, we die. The only thing I can do is time walk for another turn, basically. So we'll crack our fetch and spin our top, look for a Hercules Recall or a time walk. We found all the forces and garbage repeals. Okay, yeah, that was awful. We didn't really have a hand that was suited to win those games, though. Fangrish likes to take out top. I think it's probably better than a Preordain, so I'm gonna keep them in. So Nice Whisper on the play is slightly better than before. It's important we don't take too many artifacts out to make our opals result. No. Yes, if we hit exactly, we're not. What do you want me to cut? Like, you're asking me to cut cards, but there's nothing to board in. This is how I board for shops. No, what Elf is saying is fine. Hercules is an out and out is the problem. Hercules is just a time walk. This hand's so bad. Yes, I agree. Lotus. Well, we have to keep this hand. I think this hand is really bad. It doesn't do anything. The hand just doesn't do anything. If I draw a Moxen and he plays nothing, it's fine. Our hand exerts no pressure and is weak to most of the cards in his deck. Alright, we're pretty good here, though. He had a very weak draw on his part, too. We need to hit a Moxen, but we're going to be okay. Especially if he doesn't have a strong follow-up with a shop. I agree. I have Hercules. I have time. I only have time if he had no sphere. His hand was incredibly weak to a sphere. We didn't get sphered, though. We got null rotted, and he has not very much mana at the moment, so it's not too big of a deal. I wouldn't classify Karn as exactly a win con, but yes. I don't think Karn's actually that great in the matchup. I think Karn's okay. Typically, when you win against shops, just because you PO'd off after a recall, or you put a white steal in and they couldn't deal with it. Factory, 2-drop. That's fine. I am definitely... Yeah, I'm gonna Hercules here. It's not the strongest Hercules, but we have a lot of winning draws, so... No, it's fine. It's fine, P9. I think Hercules there is fine. I can get punished so hard by waiting. PO is not the way we're winning this game, so. We're forcing this null rod and we're playing the game out with our top and our preordains. We can lose, like, it can happen for sure. See if he has a sphere here. Second null rod's a little awkward for us though. Typically you want to hold null rod and hold Hercules recall for null rod until you have a conclusive play to win the game. But I don't think that's correct here. Voltaic key, reasonable. We know we're drawing preordain. We know we don't need... I don't really want an opal. I actually just don't want either of these cards. I do want that card though. He has a lot of mana. We know he has a Ravager in his hand and 3 unknown cards. I think it's fine if you wait on Hercules there. I think you can just get punished sometimes. This is a Ballista for 3. That's pretty good. I don't think it's wrong to wait on Hercules there. I think that's a perfectly normal line to take there. I think it's perfectly reasonable line to take. I don't even think it's a bad line to take. I just didn't think it was the line I wanted to take. If that makes any sense. I think both the lines are fine. You punished for different things. Oh, that's insane. We're short on PO, so it looks like we're just ancestraling. We could spin first, but I don't really think it's worth it. We could definitely spin first. The problem with... Yeah, we could spin first and try to draw key. But I think the mana post Ancestral is more important. That's exactly what I'm looking for. It is exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, I should have drawn then. That was a mistake. I could have had 1 more damage. Yeah, I just missed 1 damage right there. That's okay. Well, it's not. Yeah, it's a little. It's like half a damage. Depends on how I play it. It doesn't really hurt for me to play this out. All right. He needs to beat Mentor Construct with a top. I guess I didn't lose the damage there. Yeah, I could play the Mana Vault first and then play... Yeah, I could have had a tapped Mana Vault and done 1 more damage if I wanted to. Yeah, Elf, I think that's completely reasonable. I think you can look there for a key. Because if you do have a key, you can draw a key and Merchant Scroll for Hercules Recall. I think that's perfectly fine. I thought it was possible that the mana post Ancestral would be more important than having a very small chance of my key being in my top 40 cards or whatever. My top 3 of my top 40 cards, I have 1 key. If I was playing a 2-key version, the math gets a little better. But I think you're on a good line of thinking. I don't even think it's wrong. I think if you did it, I think it's perfectly reasonable. I just think that there's like enough cards you can draw with Ancestral's Recalls where you're going to need 1 mana that it'll be important. A lot of the lines of cards you can draw with Ancestral Recall there, where you want to be able to PO, the 1 mana will be very important. So his hand is Ravager and 3 unknowns. He needs to answer Mentor and a large construct. It's going to be quite difficult for him after already using at least 1 Ballista on Karn. He would have to have another Ballista here. I don't care if he wastelands me. That's fine with me. Precursor, reasonable. Precursor is a good answer for sure. We do have our own crypt to worry about. But we have a top here, which is just so good. Especially if we hit anything, because we're not restricted by mana in any way, really. Yeah, that card's insane. That's lethal right now. Okay, we got there. Let's go. I don't think I played those games particularly great, but I think there was a lot of choices to be made, which was really awesome. How convenient, he says. Alright.